You can spec these up to 130 grand if you want to.
My goodness.
But you can just hear that rumble.
That's beautiful. So what size engine is it?
5.5 litre. And if 5.5 litre V8 isn't enough, it's got a twin scroll bi-turbos added on for good measure. And it's also only rear-wheel drive with all that power as well.
Really?
Yeah, so it's not four-wheel drive, which makes it good fun.
Something to hold on to.
No, fine. I'm out, darling.
So track is, I've done
So
I've just done a couple of rides. The track is evolving a little bit at the moment. If we don't get more rain, you may find that the first lap isn't as quick as the last lap we do, because every single lap the track is getting a little bit quicker, which is good. Now. Yeah, just a little bit. It's a couple of areas that are really slippy, and you feel the car moving around quite a lot.
Yeah, cool.
So to give you an idea what we'll do a high-speed acceleration run so that you can feel the power, some emergency braking as well, and then we'll do a bit on the track so you can feel the car around the twisty bits, and we're then going to drive the car sideways in a straight line. Literally.
Sideways in a straight line?
Yep, I'm going to kick the car like that and drive it like that.
Are you really?
Yeah, 100%. Okay, and we're going to do that over there where it's our ice surface. And
nice
and then we're going to do what I call the audience participation part, where I'm going to get you to help me. Okay, so I'm going to drive straight towards something, and I want you to tell me when to brake so that we don't hit it. All right, no pressure. All right. You can all join in. But first of all, let's find out the power, shall we? We might get a bit of wheel spin as we pull away on here. Let's just get the car in sports mode. So just for your benefit, I will stop before the blue and white barrier. It might look like I'm not going to, but I will. And you want to be nice and square back in the seat for this, because I'm going to do a real hard brake at the end. Okay. So full power and then a hard brake to stop. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, here we go. All right.
Oh, yes.
All right.
I'm fine. Yes.
Told you I stopped. See?
Absolutely fine, darling. Yes,
cool. So obviously that's what it's like in a straight line. Let's see what it does around the twisty bits.
Right?
Yeah. I just wet my knickers. That's
That's on video, Mum.
Oh no! Where the cameras at?
Straight in front of you.
Oh, there they are. Oh my goodness! Oh no! You'll see it at the end. Oh wow!
So let's have a go round the twisty stuff. Nice clear bit of track. So let's see how much grip we got this time. So you're right in the back?
Yep.
You sure? Okay. So let's wake it up now, shall we? Here we go. It's not your average saloon car.
Grab up semi, let you sit up.
Oh, I'm quite giddy.
You alright?
Would you believe this is 100% standard? We don't modify the cars in any way to come out here. We can pick any of them up from the showroom and do exactly the same as we're doing here. A little bit of understeer, we have to back off a little bit. So you're always trying to feel the grip that's underneath you. It always changes sometimes. It's just those little touches just to manage the power, feel the grip.
You alright?
Alright?
Sure? You alright?
What we'll do, we'll break it up into a couple of sessions. So we'll come off now and give you a bit of a break, let you relax a little bit.
Poor Darren, my nails are beginning to his
It's just like my wife when she was giving birth.
That's what left all your matter.
Very familiar feeling. You alright?
Oh God, yes.
It's quite nippy, isn't it? It's quite nippy.
You alright?
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Yeah,
good.
fine,
Good.
fine, absolutely. Cool.
So what we'll do here, as I said, I was going to drive the car sideways in a straight line.
Yeah.
So this surface is a special ice surface, and when we put water on it, it's just like driving on black ice.
Oh wow.
So speed's a lot less, but will be completely sideways.
What's he looking at? What's the bloke next door looking at?
It's just that we
race.
basically we have priority as a sort of passenger lap ride.
Yes.
So he's just letting me know that I can go before him.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So it's just our sort of track etiquette, if you like. So it's one of our drivers.
Do you have to have special on special training for all this?
Yeah,
to-
I mean,
to-
most of us are involved in motorsport. I've been in motorsport for 23 years
Have you?
and still compete. And we've got ex-police drivers, we've got some military drivers and things. And every single driver here has to go through a minimum of 3 days training. Even though you can do it, you have to go through everything so they understand they can trust you and you're consistent.
I see.
And then we go back to have 2 days refresher training every single year
Do
to
you?
make sure that people are still up to
Yeah.
standard and doing what's needed. Because it's a responsible. You have to be quite responsible. We know we've got people's health in our hands, really. So
Yes,
it's
of course.
important that we know what we're doing.
I mean, someone could have a heart attack back there, couldn't they? I mean,
Okay.
that what you're doing up here?
Yeah, so this is where we're going to put the car sideways. Okay. So we're going to sit.
Why is it all wet though?
Because it's
I
a
mean,
slippery
why is it all-
surface. It's a
Nice
special
surface.
painted surface. So if we sit back in the seat, you see what the car's like sideways. So we come in a bit of speed, bit of brake, turn, and then flick the power. Straight up, nice and controlled at the end. Wow.
I love that. Brilliant.
That's quite good, isn't it?
It's quite good, yes. See, you relax, you know, you see.
It's quite good.
So as we go, so we'll go and do that again, shall we?
Yeah.
I like
Let's do that again.
It's not the kind of thing you normally end up in a car doing that very often. It's
Yeah, Zaki.
Yeah.
Constitution of an ox.
Make sure the camera can see Grandma. Oh. How do you get? I mean, oh, okay.
so this might be one of our drivers as well on the left, so I'll just see if it's one of us or not. It might be one of us about to go. No, it's not. Could be.
It's one way.
Let's
isn't
go.
it, I suppose,
It's one way of what?
Losing weight.
That's one way of looking at it, isn't it?
So you have to spray that, do you?
Yeah,
To
I mean,
make it.
It's still very slippery without the water,
Mm.
but with the water on it, that's what gives it that slippery kind of consistency.
So how is it frozen under there?
It's not frozen, it's just a silicone paint. So
okay.
How is it?
Alright.
hopefully last time wasn't a fluke. Turn, power.
It's good, isn't it? Oh, I like that. It's lovely. That's fabulous. Yeah.
So you ready for some more laps?
Oh, I don't know.
We'll do a couple.
Yeah, go on then.
If you're not happy, just tell me and
I
I'll just
will,
back it off a little bit, right?
Huge bit of faith in the car, haven't
Yes, of course. I hope you get these service quite often, do you, after all this?
There's water in the line.
you? Of course. Sit back, Zaki.
So now we've got slightly colder tyres, it's going to be a little bit more lively to start with. Whoop. Takes a few corners to get the temperature back in after we've been on the water. You just have to feed it in.
The standard road tyres.
Standard road tyres, these cars are 100% standard. It's exactly the same as it would come out of the showroom. We don't change them in any way at all. Some brakes, aren't they? I'm probably using about 60% of the brakes because it's still a bit slippy. It will stop quicker than that in the dry. Use the weight transfer to send it the other way. You can feel when it gets to tempering the tyre, can't you?
Yeah.
Just lean on it a little bit more.
Right, Zaki, you're only little.
You can actually start to see some of the rubber we've left behind as well. So it's a bit drier, so I can hit the brakes even harder than last time.
Oh, there is rubber.
That was late.
You can see as it starts to dry. I told you that it would start to get quicker, didn't I? So it's changing all the time. So as you come out of this corner, see these bits of rubber line? These are us. This is what we're leaving behind.
Oh no, are they?
Yeah.
Oh,
There you go.
Your hands are right. You've still got some fingers left.
Look at my wedding ring's been.
Sorry, darling.
Cool.
Sorry.
So what we'll do, we'll finish off with, as I said, the audience participation part, okay?
What do we do now?
So
Say stop.
this black car, yeah, exactly, you got it right. So
Leave it to you, Zach. You call.
It's like grandma do it.
What
Should
am I
do it
going
like
to
Don't
do?
tell him when to brake.
so we can't quite see at the moment because this
Oh, I
black car's
see.
in front.
This. Oh, okay.
There's a
If
big
you watch-
barrier and you're going to tell him when
But
to
if you
go.
watch what the black car's going to do, he's going to go towards some cones and then brake and swerve around them. There you go. And I want you to tell me when to brake so that we don't hit them. Okay.
Oh, so it doesn't matter if we do hit them.
Sorry, what have we got to do?
Barry's
See those
right.
cones in the middle?
Yeah.
Say stop when to go.
Tell him when to stop.
Before those cones.
Well, when
Yeah,
you think
when
you
you
should
think
stop.
Don't stop.
Okay.
Don't say stop when like we on your sin. Like, when
So
we're-
tell me
Don't
when
say
to brake
stop
so we
now.
don't hit the cones. You can all have a go if you want.
Stop!
Brake!
You're a little bit early there, Grandma.
I think that was on my one.
Of course, as you can imagine, every single person always says brake too
Yeah, way
soon.
early, yeah.
It's just natural.
So you just do it anyway.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna brake regardless of what people say when we need to. It just sounds a bit more fun when you're like, whoa, now. Yeah. We might as well go back the fun way, mightn't we?
Wow, fabulous.
What a machine as well.
Oh, isn't it just? Do you drive this one all the time?
No, we drive all of them.
Oh, do you?
We get a different car every day, and
Do you have a favourite?
Oh,
I'd say I still prefer the C63.
That's this one.
This is a CLS.
See, yeah, sorry.
So C63 is the one that's in front. It's a little bit lighter. It's a little bit more nimble. Not as much power, but it's a power to weight thing. You're always working with. So yeah, that's probably still the car that I'd spend my money on.
Beautiful car.
Lovely, isn't it?
Yeah. And you got one of those funny steering wheels with a bit off the
A bit
bottom.
off the bottom, yeah.
Yeah, they're nice, aren't they?
Okay, you ready? So you know what we're doing?
Yep.
Nice one.
Cool. And you can see every time you go on, it also behaves slightly different because you
Yeah.
never know quite how it's going to kick. Sometimes you need a bit of power. Like the last one before, I didn't use hardly any to keep it going because the momentum just took it.
Yeah.
And that's where we learn that sort of sixth sense, if you like, to just exactly what the car needs to keep it in control.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're learning it, your brain will shut down just at the wrong point and make you do the wrong thing and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like riding a bike. When you're a kid trying to learn, you keep falling off because your inputs are too big on the handlebars and things like that.
Yeah.
And after a while, you can't learn it all.
Beautiful looking cars, aren't they?
Yeah.
There's so many different models, isn't
So this is the top of the range AMG, the little GTR on the right. So 570 horsepower, but a lot lighter than we are.
I was excited, less power.
Yeah. But sometimes you can't get the power down. That's the challenge.
And that's two-wheel drive as well.
It's two-wheel drive as well, actually, and also four-wheel steering as well. So,
Is it?
Yeah. Cool. Excellent.
Well done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Glasses.
Just
Very enjoyable.